college, like I'd never heard of the Liturgy of the Hours, and how it's the official prayer of the church, and just being able to like participate in the official prayer of church, the official prayer, like Christ's prayer. It really changed the way I live my life, and it helped me try to emulate Christ more.
For I have turned my face from you. Save us from our ways, oh God, oh God. For we have turned away from you. Lord, have mercy. We will run to you, we will run to you. Turning from our sin, we return to you.
I'm taking evangelization class now, and I've learned a lot about spreading the faith to other people. I wasn't really sure before, when I was still in the infancy of growing in my faith, how to share my faith with other people, but through this class and through the passion of Nico and the other student leaders, I've learned what it takes to share that love for Christ with other people.
In evangelization class, more or less, they talk about being very charismatic in terms of like letting the Holy Spirit really guide you in your actions, more of the external part of your faith.
That's really all it is, just expressing that love. It's not something you have to follow an instruction manual for, as long as you have that love for Christ, other people will see that and they'll follow.
Because we learned that in our life our only audience is God, and so transitioning that over to Bible studies and how that affects my Bible studies, like just not having a fear of saying bold statements, like of saying really anything that comes up in prayer, or really what the Holy Spirit wants to lead Bible study and what direction it wants to go in.
Prayer class right now, and it helps me to really delve into what prayer is, since prayer is the basis of how we live as Christians, how we grow in faith, how we hope, trust, and love the Lord in a more fuller way.
Prayer class was one of the first classes I took as a focus leader, and some of the things that stuck out the most to me, I remember during the class, was learning the significance of the Our Father. I never really understood that was the prayer that God had given to us, that was personally from Him.
A child of God, of how we grow in faith, hope, and love, and the foundations of what makes us a Christian and Catholic.
And just understanding the different meanings of it, like kingdom come, and give us this day our daily bread, things like that had more of a significance when I learned about them, and I understood when I was repeating it wasn't just like a manual thing, it had more of a meaning when I was saying these prayers now.
What we did in salvation history, I think we had 4 leaders, and they would take turns leading each week. Started at Genesis, go all the way through the Old Testament. Took like 1 or 2 classes to go through Genesis. We went through Exodus, the story of the Israelites and Moses. And we went through God establishing Israel, the kingdom. Giving the perspective of why Jesus came, just understanding like the sinfulness of all of us, because I think like it really comes out in the Israelites that kind of covered every sin in the book. So yeah, I think it gives a lot of perspective, and like sheds a new light on why Christ came and why he came when he did, like at that point in history as opposed to maybe like right after the fall. Or even later on.
This was, at least personally for me, a really important part of my life, a really important time of my life to take ownership of my faith. And doing leader study was important because in taking ownership I got to learn more about my faith.
My experience in leader study has been life-changing. Before I joined, I was going through a really rough period of my life, just with school and figuring out what I wanted to do in my career. It was just like a godsend when I found out that I was going to be a leader in Focus. It really opened a lot of doors for me. I joined a part of a community I never imagined I would be a part of. I was constantly surrounded by people who supported me and shared the same values and ideas as me. So that was nice, especially in a college environment where it's kind of hard to find people who share the same values as you.
Prayer class has changed my life in the way that I can't pray the way that I used to. Going deeper in prayer, since it is the very basis of how we are able to grow in a relationship with Christ. Once you grow in a relationship with someone, you can't go back to where you were before. So it just makes for a means of where I can keep growing.
Yeah, so about a month ago, I applied to the seminary. I had been discerning for a long time before that. I think that discipleship really helped me guide my discernment. Just kind of like open myself up to whatever Christ has planned for me, because at first I was like completely resistant. I was completely against the thought of ever going to seminary or the possibility of ever being a priest. So, yeah.